Hello students, welcome to Social Science online classes. In this session, you are going to learn Political Science third chapter, that is State Government. In this chapter, you are going to learn the nature of the state legislature, the legislative assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha, and legislative council, that is Vidhana Parishad, their membership and functions. Dear students, India is the land of milk and honey, the cradle of major civilizations. It's the birthplace of many important religions. It has got 28 states and 8 union territories. Please correct it from your textbook. Earlier, there were 29 states and 6 union territories, but as of now, presently, there are 28 states. Okay, there are 28 states and 8 union territories. Okay, please correct it. Presently, India has 28 states and 28 states and 8 union territories. The states are independent, yet they are subject to the central government. It's beautifully defined in the Constitution of India that every state has got its own duties, rights, and it can establish its own legislature. It can establish its own executive. Okay. India follows the state governments follow the model of the central government, and thus they have legislature, executive and judiciary. Okay, yet the state government has the power to establish its own legislature and it can establish its own executive, but still the states are subject to the central government. Okay, so here state governments follow the model of central government and thus have the legislature, executive and judiciary. The state government has the power to frame laws on subjects under the state list and implement them. So, states have two houses like the parliament. Some houses whereas some states have only lower house, that is assembly. What it is, some states have two houses, that is legislative assembly, that is lower house and upper house. Some states have both the houses, lower house and upper house, but whereas some states have only the lower house. Okay, according to article 171, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have bicameral houses. Bicameral houses means two houses. Okay. Some states have two houses and other remaining 22 states, the remaining 22 states have only none other than none as Vidhana Sabha. The state legislature is composed of governor and the two houses. The upper house is called Legislative Council, that is Vidhana Parishad, and the lower house is called as Legislative Assembly or Vidhana Sabha. The Legislative Assembly has the representatives of the people, whereas the Legislative Council has the representatives from the fields. That is, the members are directly elected by the people. Okay, so the Legislative Assembly has they are the representatives of the people because they are directly elected by the people. But whereas the Legislative Council has representatives from various fields. So here the members are nominated from the various fields in legislative council. The strength of a Vidhan Sabha depends on the population of the state. It depends on the population of the every state. The maximum seats of any Vidhan Sabha should not exceed 500 or below 60. Okay. See, the strength of the Vidhan Sabha, it depends on the population of the state. The maximum number of seats in Vidhan Sabha should not be more than 500 or should not be less than 60 members. Okay. Then the governor can nominate one member from Anglo-Indian. The governor can nominate one member from Anglo-Indian community if he feels that they are not represented properly. However, the number of seats in small states is less. But however, some states are very less populated, so the number of seats in small states is less. Example, in Mizoram and Goa, there are 40 members each. Though it is mentioned that the member should not be less than 60, below 60, but still the population in Mizoram and Goa is less. So, in Mizoram and Goa, there are only 40 members each. The Vidhan Sabha in Karnataka has 225 members. How many members does the Vidhan Sabha in Karnataka has? In Karnataka, Vidhan Sabha has 225 members. Among 225 members, 224 members are elected, whereas one Anglo-Indian is nominated by the governor. Okay. 224 members are elected directly by the people through adult franchise, and one Anglo-Indian is nominated by the governor. Okay, now qualifications for a legislative assembly member. So what are the qualifications necessary to become a member of legislative assembly? That is, what are the qualifications necessary to become MLA? First one is, the qualifications are, he should be a citizen of India. Okay. He should have completed 25 years of age. He should not be employed in any office of profit of a government. It means he should not be working in any government office. He should not have been punished by any court. Okay. He should not be of a unsound mind. It should have a fit mind in a sound body. Okay. Then the term of the office. He should not be an insolvent. He should not be an insolvent. He should not possess the qualifications. Sorry, he should possess the qualifications as decided by the parliament from time to time. It means he should have the qualifications as decided by the parliament from time to time. The next is term of office of a Vidhan Sabha assembly. Okay. Term of office. The members of the legislative assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha, are elected for a term of 5 years. That is, the MLAs are elected for the term of 5 years. However, the assembly may be dissolved before the expire full term of the cabinet. Though the term of the Vidhan Sabha is 5 years, but it can be dissolved any time with the recommendations of the cabinet. At that time, the state will be under the president's rule. Okay. When the state assembly is dissolved, at that time what happens? At that time, the state will be under the president's rule. That is, presidents take care of the state. The administration of the state will be carried out by the president during the time of a government, when the government is being dissolved. Okay. If the members do not intend to continue in the assembly, they should submit their resignation to the speaker. In case if any MLA, or in case if any member of a legislature would not to wish to continue in the assembly as a MLA, then he can give his resignation to the speaker. The speaker and the deputy speaker are elected from among the elected members of the assembly. Okay. Here the speaker and the deputy speaker are elected from among the elected members of the assembly. So the proceedings of the house and under the chairmanship of the speaker. So here the proceedings of the house are carried out. So what the decisions they here, the proceedings of the houses are carried on under the chairmanship of the speaker. He has the functions of the speaker has the functions of maintaining peace in the house, has the responsibility of maintaining dignity and decorum of the house, summoning and postponing the meetings. He has the right to summoning and postponing of the meetings. Also, another function of a speaker is safeguarding the rights of the members and casting the decisive vote when bills receive the equal number of votes supporting and opposing them. See, this is important. When during the time of passing the bills, when the when it receives the equal number of votes, casting of votes, equal number of votes while passing the bill, then what happens? Speaker will cast his votes for supporting, or he can cast his vote for opposing the bill also. Now, powers and functions of a legislative assembly. Powers and functions of a legislative assembly. That is legislative powers. First is legislative powers. The legislative assembly has the power to frame the laws relating to the subjects mentioned in the state. That is legislature, that is the law making body. As we all know that the legislature is the law making body. Here all the MLAs come together and they meet in a place called assembly. In Karnataka, Vidhan Sabha is the assembly building, and here the assembly meets and he or she becomes the chief ministers. There in the legislative assembly, all the rules, laws and bills are enacted. There discussions, debates, motions, everything takes place here. Similarly, the legislative assembly has the power to frame laws relating to the subjects mentioned in the state list and the concurrent list. See, here what happens? The legislative assembly has the power to frame the laws relating to the subjects mentioned in the state list. What do you mean by state list here? Subjects which are related to the state only. And concurrent list, already discussed in the first chapter. Concurrent list means the subjects which are concurrent list means subjects that give powers to both the center and the state government. What is concurrent list here? Subjects. Concurrent list means subjects that give power to both state government as well as the central government, whereas state list means the state government has the only the state government has the power. Okay. The bills have to be passed by both the houses, that is upper house and the lower house. The bills have to be passed by both the houses before they are sent to the governor for his signature. That is, before sending the bills to the governor for signature, the bill has to be uh, passed in both the houses, that is it has to be passed in the upper house as well as in the lower house. Then the governor may send certain bills to the president for his proposal. Sometimes the bill which have been sent to the governor for his signature, the governor might send the certain bills, some bills to the president for the approval. Okay. Next is financial powers of a legislative assembly. Financial powers. The legislative assembly has a legislative matter of finance. See here, the legislative assembly has more powers than the legislative council in the matter of finance. The finance bill has to be first presented in the legislative assembly. See, all the finance bills first they have to be presented in the legislative assembly, then only then only in the legislative council. First the bill has to be presented in legislative assembly, then it can present it in the legislative council. Though the legislative council does not have the power to reject any bills, have the power to reject any financial delay it for 14 days. See, I explained you legislative assembly has the greater powers than the legislative council in the matter of finance. Here what happens, though the legislative council does not have any power to reject any financial bills. The legislative council does not have any power to reject any financial bill. Only the thing what it can do is it can delay it for 14 days. Only for 14 days it can delay for passing the bill. So if the Vidhan Sabha Parshad fails to send the bill within 14 days, what happened? It is assumed as passed and forwarded to the governor for his approval. See, what can legislative council do? More than it can delay the bills for 14 days. In case if Vidhan Parshad do not send the bill within 14 days, then it is thought that the bill is passed and it is forwarded to the governor for his approval. Okay. Then administrative powers of legislative assembly. The state executive is responsible to the legislative assembly, and it can be in power as long as it enjoys the trust of the legislative assembly. See here, the state executive is responsible to the legislative assembly. So legislative assembly can be in power, so this can be in power as long as it has the trust of the legislative assembly. Each member of the council of minister is individually accountable or responsible. Each member of the council of ministers is responsible to the legislative assembly. Next is electoral powers. The elected members of the legislative assembly has the power to elect president, members of Rajya Sabha and legislative council, speaker and deputy speaker of the assembly. See, the elected members of legislative assembly, that is the MLAs, has the power to elect the president, members of the Rajya Sabha and legislative council, speaker and deputy speaker of the assembly. Other powers of legislative assembly. What are the other powers? The other powers are the members of the legislative assembly discuss bills passed by the parliament when the need arises. See, whenever there is a need, the MLAs discuss the bills passed by the parliament. The report of the State Public Service Commission and other reports are discussed in the assembly. Apart from the bills passed by the parliament, they also discuss the reports of the State Public Service Commission and other reports in the are discussed in the Legislative Assembly. Okay, dear students, we'll wind up the session here. In the next session, we'll come up with the next subtopic, that is Legislative Council or Vidhana Parishad, that is upper house. So till now we studied the lower house, that is Vidhana Sabha, that is assembly. We studied assembly, then qualifications for a legislative assembly member, term of office we have discussed. Apart from that, we have also discussed the powers and the functions of a legislative assembly. So tomorrow we will discuss the legislative council, that is Vidhana Parishad or upper house. Thank you and have a good day.